Welcome to This Week in the World of Wrestling.
Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our Lucha fucking Underground review. And oh my sweet mother of God, tonight was Aztec Warfare 2. And, like, English has failed me. Me, Johnny Scumbag, the douchebag that uses at least 9-letter verbiage once a week, the language has abandoned me. Because the sheer amazingness of tonight's episode has left me positively breathless and absolutely speechless. This episode tonight, I will quote a tweet that I saw on my timeline after tonight, and I think we felt this way for a while, but this just reaffirms it. Lucha Underground is no longer a wrestling show. Lucha Underground is a fucking movement. But don't take my word for it, because I'm just one man. I'm a peon on the interwebs. What did you think of it, Ashton?
Dude, Lucha Underground turned both of us over, bent us over a barrel, and made us its bitch tonight.
And you know what? I looked after being turned over on that barrel, and I said, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah.
Because I never, and I want everybody to hear me, I never want this feeling to stop ever.
No.
Now, that language might be incredibly alarming because the only people who really say things like that, let's see, are addicts, are people with serious issues, and you know what? Check me under all the above, baby, because I never want this feeling to leave. I want Lucha Underground circulating through my bloodstream 24-7, 365. I mean, I don't even know where to start because reviews like this are always more complicated as is because it was one match. You know, we got one cinematic before this and then Aztec Warfare. And that alone already makes it complicated. But when it's just as insane as what we got, like my brain matter is everywhere. I feel like I'm missing part of my brain even as I'm talking now. I mean, let's just get into this so I don't prattle on any longer. Let's get some coherence in this. And that's your answer. I can't even, do you even want me to say it? People even want me, you've been watching, for those of you that have been watching this show long enough, first of all, welcome, make yourself comfortable. You already know what I'm going to say. For those of you that don't know what I'm going to say.
Favorite wrestling show.
Exactly. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, I'm going to say this as a courtesy. And I want to stress that as a courtesy. We have a segment, Heat of the Night.
Yeah.
What do we do on Heat of the Night? We lay out our complaints because we try and be, I know Raw has kind of made that a bit of a hindrance lately, but we try and be the more positive podcast on the internet because the internet seems to have this stigma of being negative, of being pessimistic. Here's a problem, though, and here's where my job becomes a bit difficult because then in enters Lucha Underground. It's like, nice segment you have there. Be a shame if I stabbed it 25 times in the fucking chest and just let it bleed out the rest of the way. And it does.
Lucha Underground went full Punisher on Heat of the Night.
Yeah, because this segment, and I felt this way for a while now, but I never wanted to come out and say it. But you know what? Consequences be damned. I'm gonna say it. Lucha Underground has been so consistently great, I think they've rendered this segment obsolete. I don't see the fucking point of it, dude. I don't. Like, they murdered it tonight. If Heat of the Night was a person, first of all, I'd be cowering in the corner with piss going down my right pant leg, but this isn't about me. At least not yet. We'll get to that. But more importantly,
if Heat of the Night was a person, if Heat of the Night was a person, it's Grant Ward and Lucha Underground is Coulson.
Yeah, crush that motherfucking chest and then just leave it. So, for those of you wondering, well, gee, I mean, do you have any heats of the night? No. No, I do not.
You know what, John? Let's do this.
Okay.
Because of Lucha Underground just pissing excellence week to week, let's do away with the Heat of the Night segment for Lucha Underground reviews, but with the added caveat that we need to discuss before each episode if we have a heat of the night, just to make sure that basically we're maintaining status quo and not having any.
I agree, and I love the imagery of you saying pissing excellence, because I just think about us doing this podcast and like the human personification of Lucha Underground just coming over and just taking a piss on the segment before we even start recording. Yeah. And it's like, well, we kind of have to, okay.
No, it's okay. Lucha Underground, you did a good thing. Heat of the Night just got stung by a jellyfish. Good job.
And then it just kind of waltzes up. It's like, I'll be back next week. Okay, man, Jesus. And then we just do our job. Like, all right,
Does that mean that we need Heat of the Night to get stung by a jellyfish every week?
Yeah. And then I'm just like, good. You do you, Lucha Underground. You do fucking you.
Yeah.
Because I said it last week to close. And you know what? Ash didn't even correct me on live reactions, but I will say, not only is it the hardest working locker room, and I'm talking even the production half, not just the talent half, everybody.
See, but like, I feel like hardest working, I mean, yeah, obviously they work hard, no one's going to question that, but that almost implies that they're overworked, and that reminds me of WWE, because WWE, they're on the road 350 days a year, they're working their asses off, they're just doing it poorly. Lucha Underground is the smartest working wrestling show in the freaking galaxy.
Without question. And anybody who has been watching this show, first of all, we welcome you again, and how lucky you are right now to be here.
Dude, it's so funny because there is a law of business. It's not like an actual, like, if you don't abide by this law, you will get arrested and put in jail. It's like Murphy's Law, like, oh, anything that can go wrong with it. It's called the 80-20 law, where in most businesses, you can cut about 80% of your lowest paying customers out of your business and still make about 80% of the money you were. Because the whole idea is 80% of your profit comes from the top 20% of the people that you're working with, right?
Right.
Lucha Underground puts forth probably 20% of the freaking man hours that WWE does, and their product isn't 80% as good. It's about 180% as good.
Yeah, we need to change those metrics because...
like WWE works, the people in WWE, top guys as far as the in-ring workers goes, and even guys like frickin' Zack Ryder, they don't just go home. They're still on the road. They're still showing up for dark matches and superstars and main events and all that shit and house shows. I said that already. No, I didn't. House shows. And, like, they're putting in this effort, like 300 plus days a year. I've heard anywhere from 300 and 350 days a year. And WWE isn't a tenth as good as Lucha Underground, where in Lucha Underground, they do an entire season's worth of tapings over like a 2 or 3 month period.
It's just insanity, dude. How the infrastructure is completely different, and yet the results have been like nothing but positive that they've yielded.
That's what happens when you decide we're not going to brute force this thing. We're going to work smarter. And they put on the smartest wrestling product on the goddamn planet.
And dude, it's so clear in the writing too. And
yeah.
You've even said this, and I have to give all credit to you here. I'm not going to try and act like I've been saying the same thing, because this has been all you. You have said that when the writing is good, it can compensate for anything else. The terrifying thought is, I don't even know what Lucha Underground would have to compensate for, but the writing is so on point. Like, that's how you know this shit works.
Do we want to move on? Let's move on.
Dude, let's fucking talk about it. Let's get right into our Lucha fucking Underground review. I mean, we get an opening cinematic. Fenix is with the belt. We know he's coming out first. You know, this, that, and the other. And then Pentagon says, you know, Fenix tonight, I'm taking the gold home because I'm Pentagon Jr. and I have zero fear. Then you have Catrina. She steps forward. She kind of has at it with Pentagon, you know, because they have their issues because Pentagon tried breaking her arm. And before that, on the first episode, he broke Mil Muertes' arm. So you have the issues established right there, brought to the forefront again. And him and her go back and forth, you know, saying that, you know, Mil Muertes is going to destroy, and Pentagon's like, look, I don't listen to you. I'm tired of you running your mouth. The only person I listen to is my master. And then she retorts, well, the only reason that you don't know fear is you haven't known true fear. And then She says, I don't even know how you got, into this match. You lost your privilege when you put your hands on me. So I didn't know it at the time, but I'll just say now in the context of this cinematic, Catrina takes Pentagon out of Aztec Warfare. And again, though, I have to commend Lucha Underground for their consistency, because why would a heel, it's one thing, Fenix is the champion, and Puma Muertes has already shown that he can handle Puma and technically Pentagon in that triple threat. But Pentagon committed a personal sin when he tried to violently put his hands on Catrina. Catrina doesn't forget that, and she exercises her power accordingly. So Pentagon's out. And if you're a Pentagon fan, yes, it pisses you off, but it creates such a great narrative because Pentagon was never beaten Aztec Warfare because he wasn't in it.
Yeah.
And now he has got this beef with Catrina and Mil Muertes, and it's freaking brilliant. And then she turns around to Fenix, and she more or less says, death is coming for you, Mil Muertes is going to regain the gold. But the big thing here is, Ashton, Pentagon being excluded from Aztec Warfare.
I love it. I love it. This does so many things. I'm not even going to try and put a number on it because I'll say 2 and then I'll come up with 4. This does so many things that it's all great. First of all, you save Mil versus Pentagon because that is a money match, right?
Exactly.
Number 2, you save Matanza versus Pentagon, another big money match, right?
Exactly.
Number 3, Pentagon doesn't have to lose at all.
Exactly. I'm just gonna.
And number 4, you can use Pentagon, which they did, to eliminate Mil from Aztec Warfare. So you're also saving Mil Matanza.
And if I could just repeat something I've already said to kind of tag on at number 5, keeping the consistency with the feud, showing that Catrina is acting like a heel, and Pentagon building on that momentum.
There was more logic in this one episode of Lucha Underground that was one match on the entire show than there has been in the WWE in the last decade.
Yeah. Just unfucking believable, man.
And that's the thing too, I know we're probably going to want to go from 1 to 20 and actually talk about this match in order, but just an example, Joey Ryan, I don't even care if you don't want to try and say that he's the smartest wrestler on the planet. The way that his character was written in this match is the smartest I've ever seen a character written, especially a heel, in a battle royal ever. Because he made it impossible for himself to lose. And then Matanza said, haha, impossible? Fuck you.
Exactly. Fuck you. And he just, dude, everything about it. What I loved about the Joey Ryan thing, because see, Lucha Underground knows how to build interest. So what did they do earlier in the day? Just to frame everything in context. Like you, I know we should probably do this more coherently, but I think you and I are so jazzed up. Honestly, I don't even care if we go out of order so long as we have some kind of coherence here.
Let's just throw it around, man.
Earlier in the day, they release an online exclusive. I'm like, oh, what's this? And I'm glad, we stopped what you and I were doing because we got on a bit later so you could watch it. They had a 4-way matchup. Winner got the last invitation to Aztec Warfare. It was Mr. Cisco, Cortez Castro, Killshot, Joey Ryan. Joey Ryan steals the win. Killshot was on fire. It seemed like he was going to go on and do it, which, by the way, I love that because I don't want to make this a part of the formal review, but maybe now Killshot and Joey Ryan may get in some business. We know those Killshot vignettes are coming. Maybe he's going to try and kill Joey Ryan. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, he did the double stomp, I believe, to Cortez Castro. And then Joey Ryan swoops in and he pins him. Yep. And that builds on that narrative too. Those two guys don't like each other. And that's the great thing
too. Yeah, exactly. Frickin' Joey Ryan won and got the invite by pinning Officer Reyes.
Exactly. And that's going to lead to tension because while they are both proud men, that's going to conflict with the bigger task at hand. And that task just got a lot bigger given what we got tonight. Yeah. Because these are two guys that are supposed to be investigating, I guess, Catrina too, but primarily Dario Cueto. He is the person of interest. And given what happened tonight, Joey Ryan and Officer Reyes better check their egos at the door because shit just hit the fan in a major way. So I just wanted to contextualize Joey Ryan's appearance in this match. And dude, just fucking everything, man. Here's the thing too, and this is how you know that I'm a fan of the brand and not just a fan of the person. Johnny Mundo didn't exactly have the best outing in Aztec.
No, he really didn't. He entered at number 5, and he was eliminated 3rd by Prince Puma.
Now, hear me when I say this next sentence, though. I don't give a shit.
Exactly.
Because I could be so pissed, and obviously, guys, my one dream left as a wrestling fan is to give you guys the Ultimate Markout video, Johnny Mundo is world champion, which will come. It will.
But
This match was so fucking incredible. Why would I even give a shit? Especially given, if we're thinking about stories and not just personal performance, Johnny Mundo still had a great night tonight. Because, yeah, he got eliminated early, but he's continuing his feud with Cage, and you know what? I dig it. I dig it. And you know something? I can, like, have my fun and commit hyperbole and, you know, make fun of Cage. Cage is a great performer because he had a great moment in this match tonight. Johnny Mundo throwing Cage through Catrina's office window, a repeat of the Patron spot. Cage ate that shit.
He got out of it. He turned around and he just seething, staring down Mundo from behind. Oh my god!
But again, when you talk about the storytelling, think about how brilliant this is, right? Because let's go through the steps. He throws Cage to the window. Cage eats it, right? Cage beats the shit out of Mundo, hits Weapon X on the outside. Then Puma comes in with like a standing shooting star, pins Mundo, which I like that because that's a callback to last week. Mundo said, hey, I took it easy on you, but now I'm gunning for you. Puma's like, well, I punched my hand through this punching bag, and now I'm just going to eliminate your ass to shut you up. So that continues that rivalry. Yep. And plus, they have a lot of Season 1 history. I won't even get into that. But then, knowing that Cage ate a window, knowing that he's impervious to glass, which I hope Mundo has learned that at this point, knowing that he kicked out of a steel pipe to the skull when he tried to help Taya, what does he bring to the fight this week? A fucking cinder block that he literally smashes over the guy's skull, and that miraculously, and I say miraculously because the booking of Cage makes him seem like an unstoppable fucking monster. That is until we get an actual monster, and we'll get into that, believe me. And it gets the 3 count. Who pins him? Taya Valkyrie. They wrote this so brilliantly where Cage doesn't look discredited because, and I'm saying this sentence sincerely, he took a fucking cinder block to the face. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
It sounds so absurd, but cinder blocks have become commonplace in Lucha Underground now. Last season with the Mac, this season we already saw Johnny try and use one on Cage and almost get it used on himself. Thanks to Taya, it didn't. And now he uses it on Cage successfully.
I mean, look, dude, I'm just gonna say it. I've heard of performers in this business being protected. Cage had to be packing a Magnum fucking condom because you can't protect a guy any more than taking a cinder block to the fucking head. Like, just not gonna happen. Just not gonna happen. So that was brilliant. Everything they did with Mundo and Cage, everything brilliant. Rey Mysterio coming out early, I thought was smart. I thought that was so smart. They had him out at number 2 because you've been holding this guy off in ring-wise for 9 episodes. You've been teasing and tantalizing people, especially, you know, Lucha Libre fans and all that, who Rey Mysterio is iconic there. And I don't think that word's used in hyperbole. You know, he is a legend there. He goes in, he went to distance in this match. Like, he was the primary attraction, which, again, I think is smart. It was his debut. You finally see him in ring, and it's Rey Mysterio. Maybe not necessarily a Lucha Underground guy, but they know how to use their talents. And in the end, didn't even really matter that he wasn't a Lucha Underground guy, did it? Because the Lucha Underground guy actually went over. So take fucking notes, TNA. You don't have to use every other wrestling reject and put the world title on them. It's not going to help you. Yeah. Make your own fucking stars.
Matanza has not, I mean, just to kind of break the fourth wall a little bit here, Jeff Cobb has literally never been on American wrestling television before that I know of.
Exactly.
And this is his American wrestling television debut, and he kills 9 of the biggest baby faces in Lucha Underground and wins the title.
And you know what? Since you're already
including Rey Mysterio,
who he pinned last,
and Chavo. So he killed 2 former WWE guys.
Yeah. Take fucking note, guys.
Oh
That's
my God.
how you build an organic talent. And you know what, Ashton, since you already said it, because I was going to say it for later, but this seems like the most...
Dude, here's the thing. I'm still making these links. Tejano eliminated PJ Black. Matanza eliminated Tejano. So if anyone was like, oh, look, that's Justin Gabriel. He's really good. Oh, Tejano beat him. That means Tejano's really good. Oh, shit. Now Matanza beat Tejano.
Hey, yes. And I'm just going to say it now, guys. I've been watching pro wrestling. You guys know 2001, 2002 is kind of my timeline.
Yep.
Best debut I've ever seen in 12 to 13 years.
Oh, and by the way, again, connecting these dots, Johnny Mundo, another former WWE guy, eliminated by Prince Puma, who was eliminated by John?
Matanza.
Yeah, you're goddamn right. Yeah, Matanza.
Oh,
Matanza just ran roughshod on every former WWE guy on this roster.
I know I'm probably going to get hazed for this, potentially by some people, but you and I said we're just going to...
hazing like a violent form of it?
Well, yeah, I guess it's violent, but I know somebody may call me out or do something is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But I really don't give a fuck. Like, I already love Matanza a million times more than Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. And again, like, I know I'm going to say a lot of controversial
I mean, here's the thing. We can never allow ourselves to see Matanza and Brock Lesnar next to each other because Brock would, tower over him. But still, in this universe, Matanza is scarier than Brock Lesnar is in the WWE universe.
I mean, to me, Brock Lesnar, I'm sorry, by comparison, it's child's play. It's absolute fucking child's play because Brock, he's an animal, and I love how he knows and he's aggressive and he does all this. But he does like 10 German suplexes, a few F5s, and he's imposing. Like, that's what he has going for him. Matanza is a legit athlete. Like, the guy that plays Matanza is a legitimate wrestler.
I feel like Matanza is like a fusion of 2003 Kurt Angle and Brock Lesnar together.
Yeah.
Like, you just time traveled back to 2003. You took that version of Kurt Angle and that version of Brock Lesnar, made them do the fusion dance, and Jeff Cobb was born.
Because we are talking pro wrestling here. And with pro wrestling, you take a lot of liberties. And to me, even with that in mind, Matanza just blows Brock Lesnar out of the water. Like, I'm sorry. I want to see more Matanza after tonight. Like,
I'm telling you, man, we've got to go on a Jeff Cobb, like a sort of marathon or something, because I've seen some of his work, not a lot, but I saw enough to know some of the names of his moves, because I know that there's a top 10 moves of Jeff Cobb online that we could watch. And yeah, that like reverse power slam that he does, it's called the Tour of the Islands, and that he used that as a finisher on like 2 or 3 guys tonight, and it's amazing.
Yeah. I mean, just
dude, perfect. He can do a standing moonsault slam.
Yeah.
Literally, like, holding the guy like he's going to do a back body drop, but then doing a backflip while holding them and landing in moonsault position on top of them.
Yeah. Oh, dude. And that's the crazy thing, dude. We saw a lot of great stuff from Matanza tonight, but he wasn't even really tested yet.
No.
Like, that kayfabe sense.
And dude, I love how well the top baby faces were protected, too. Honestly, the babyface challenger that could potentially go after him that was made to look the weakest tonight was El Dragon AZTEC Jr., but you could chalk that up to inexperience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Because everyone else that Matanza was able to eliminate that had come out after 10 were heels. And the only real exception is Tejano, who I don't think is really kind of in the discussion for the world title right now. He's more of like a upper mid card guy, right?
Right.
Like he beat Tejano, El Dragon AZTEC Jr., who I mentioned, Aerostar, who again is like a upper mid card guy, Chavo, and the Mac. And those are the 5 guys that came out after the 10 spot who he beat. And all of the other major players that Matanza beat tonight came out in the first 10, so they were worn down and they have that excuse. Namely, Fenix and Mysterio, who came out 1 and 2 respectively, but also Puma, who came out at 7.
Yeah, dude, Matanza murdered everyone.
And like I said, he murdered everyone, but it is worth noting that pretty much most of the people that he killed were protected in some way or another, especially Fenix and Ray.
Yeah. And here's the thing too, I loved how the babyfaces were protected, and you know what, again, kind of breaking the fourth wall a little bit like you did earlier with Jeff Cobb, I loved how much the babyfaces were willing to let Matanza just shine. Yeah. Because we gotta be honest, as great as Lucha Underground is, pro wrestling is a very political business at times, and I love that there was no politicizing here. Like, even Ray, he got some of his shit in, but when it came time to make Matanza look like a monster, no problem. Yep. Because, yeah, he looked fucking great.
Marty got some shine tonight.
Yeah, dude, Marty
he didn't get any eliminations. He did not get any eliminations, but he looked great. He no-sold some crazy stuff. He looked the number one disappointment, and really in my mind the only disappointment I can think of about this show, no Mariposa. I really wanted her in this battle royal.
Yeah, they're saving her for something. And you know what? Like,
But the thing is, like, I don't know who I would have swapped out for her. Maybe Chavo, but Chavo had an important role in one of the funniest spots on this whole thing when Cueto did the throat slash and told Matanza to kill him.
Yeah, dude, I love that.
Yeah, but, like, that's the thing, though. Like, who would you take out to put Mariposa in? I don't know.
I don't know either. And you know what, too? Speaking of narratives, this was
Maybe Arhennis.
Well, dude, can I just bring up something that you made me realize with Mariposa? Sexy Star wasn't in this match tonight.
No, she
Probably
wasn't.
because she was terrified knowing that Marty would be in it, and she didn't want to face him.
Yep.
That is so fucking good, dude. Like, and yeah, I mean, the Mac like went after Marty just like straight away, and I think even after Marty got eliminated, I don't know if he got like even some digs in on him then, but I love it because now if they're like, oh, Sexy Star wasn't a part of AZTEC Warfare, well, she's traumatized.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't want to face that trauma head on, and then she
None
probably
of the
would have.
members of the Unlikely Trio were in this either.
That did kind of surprise me. But you know what? They did win the titles the week before, and knowing that Catrina runs things, maybe that's all she wanted to give them. I don't know.
By the way, I think it is worth noting, I mean, Arhennis was in this match, which means there's a good chance the Disciples are legitimately dead.
Yeah, that's very true.
They served their purpose, and actually, we went back and watched it last week, and apparently, during that segment where Mill was just beating the shit out of all three of them, Catrina said, spare him regarding Sinestro de la Muerte, and then Mill slammed him on the ground, and she said, or don't. So I guess that implies, like, he didn't spare him, he killed him.
Right. And you know what? Can I just say, too, kind of connecting the two episodes again with the reemergence of Arhennis, I love that Lucha Underground is able to pull off with certain gimmicks, and Disciples of Death may be the only one thus far, but they have a fluidity there. It's like, okay, you guys served your purpose, so you can revert back to this, and then we're going to do this with that character. Like, this show does things with its performers, man. Like, blows my fucking mind, man.
No Bengala tonight?
No Bengala tonight? No. Who else didn't we get? We didn't. Yeah, well, you already said nobody from Team Havoc, so yeah, no.
Well, and then obviously none of the Disciples, because they're probably dead. We already know we weren't going to get Killshot, Cisco, or Cortez. No Pimpy.
No Pimpy. Yeah, somebody even mentioned Pimpy. No Pimpy.
No Superfly.
No Mariachi Loco. Sorry,
no,
Gregor.
No Mariachi Loco. No Vinny Massaro. No Ricky Mandel.
Famous B, though, was at ringside with Brenda watching the whole thing.
Yes, that's right. I almost forgot to mention that. And
I'm so glad I remembered, because now, like,
too.
he seemed like he was constantly. And can I just mention another thing, since we're mentioning people that didn't show up? No Black Lotus in tow with Dario Cueto.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, that's a story we'll find out more about next week, I bet.
Where is she? Oh my God. That's how you know a show is great, when you have just as many questions about the people who didn't show up as you do with the people that did. Like,
dude,
fuck?
Oh my God. Oh.
Where is Black Lotus? Like,
she was probably in Catrina's office clearing it out and putting Cueto's stuff back.
Maybe.
That's my guess.
Maybe. You know what? $10 says we'll see Black Lotus next week, because now that Cueto has kind of stuff, and you know what? Oh my God, I just want to talk about everything right now. I don't even know where to start.
Start at the most logical point, John, the beginning.
Well, yeah, I guess the beginning. I mean, yeah, Ray and Fenix starting this thing off. They had a great exchange. Ray looked great here.
He did, dude. He just watching him tonight, he looked like 03 Ray. Like, everything's coming back to 2003.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, those stem cell treatments on his knee, I think, have definitely done a good service to him.
He looked like he lost some weight, too. He looked leaner.
Yeah, he did look leaner, so he got in shape for this. We know he's also going to be a part of Season 3, so hopefully, we'll be able to see a lot more of Ray, doing his thing. Yeah. And I just want to say as a quick side note, too, because I know I've been saying this a lot, guys, to Ashton in conversation. Like, my Twitter is already blowing up from people who have attended, like, no spoilers, and I'm saying, like, I didn't get any spoilers, about Season 3 and how insane Season 3 is.
Yeah.
That should be terrifying to any Lucha Underground fan ever in the best possible way, because Season 2 isn't even halfway done yet.
Yeah.
And already Season 3 is apparently the best fucking thing ever, and this season isn't even done. Like, holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
Yeah. I mean, the only real bad news that I can think of, just news-wise, coming out of this past week, is that Speedball Mike Bailey technically he is signed to the AAA roster, but he had some kind of visa issue and he won't be able to work in the U.S. for the next few years.
That sucked. My heart sank. Because here's the thing, I would never call myself a Mike Bailey mark, but I was really starting to warm up to his stuff in PWG.
Yeah.
And you know what we always say on TWitWoW, guys. Like, we always try and look at in our more thoughtful conversations the humanitarian aspect. You're talking about a guy that can't even do what he loves for the next 5 years in, particular area. Because he can't work in the U.S. it is, right? Or where is it? That's crazy.
That means no PWG, no Lucha Underground.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a huge blow to a man's livelihood. I hope Mike Bailey can get that sorted out, because 5 years, I mean...
I feel like the number I saw was 7, but still.
7 years? Jesus Christ. Well, 7 months even in that kind of line of work probably feels like an eternity. 7 years.
I mean, he is signed to AAA. He has a contract with them, so he's still going to be able to work for them.
That's good.
So it's not like his complete well-being was just taken away. It just sucks that
7 years.
He's not going to be able to work PWG or in Lucha Underground now, because Lucha Underground's based in LA.
And here's the thing,
unless they take a frickin' no, that would be retarded. Never mind.
Well, no, I was gonna say to you, dude, and then we could go back to Lucha. That's such a shame for Mike Bailey, because I mean, yeah, he could still work, but 7 years in a pro wrestler's career is a huge chunk of time. I mean, this is not a career of longevity for a lot of guys. I mean, for some it can be if you're lucky, but most guys, that's a lot of time off the clock. Yeah. That really, my heart goes out to Mike Bailey. I know he can still work, so it's not like he's not gonna have bread in his mouth, but it still fucking sucks. But you know what didn't suck, though? This fucking AZTEC warfare. I mean, I'm going to keep it up, man. This show was fucking great. And I've heard about, now, I'm going to treat it as if it was a spoiler, but I did hear about one signing already for Season 3. I mean, people...
Sammy Callahan, baby!
Well, there you go. I was going to save it. I didn't know if people wanted me to keep mum about it, but yeah, Sammy Callahan.
Well, I feel like even during our Luchador Spotlights, we were talking about how we knew Ray was signed, that kind of stuff.
Right. And then, of course, that was just confirmed in the trailer. So, I mean, people are coming over because, I think Lucha Underground really is becoming something. And I'm telling you, it's just insane.
It's incredible.
That's the word. It's just absolutely incredible. It is the
best thing going on today. And, honestly, I feel so bad for people that weren't able to watch all of Season 1 because they were behind on, the hype train that we are kind of like members of the frickin' caboose, or the driving it.
Yeah.
Like we're part of the front. We're in the front of the train, brother. We are a member of the engineer team,
I mean, dude, I told you in conversation today, I turned a very dear friend of mine onto Lucha Underground. He's on episode 3 currently of Season 1, and my heart breaks for him because it's going to be a while before he can taste this epicness. This was a mind-blowing hour of time. And notice the word I said there, guys, because I know Ashton's done it before. Television, not just pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah,
television,
exactly.
period.
Dude, this week, I loved this Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. this week, but it does not come close to this episode of Lucha Underground. So week 1 of AOS is coming back during Lucha Underground, went to Lucha. Week 2 went to Lucha by a smidge. Week 3, it's
landslide.
Not close.
Yeah, fucking landslide. Because I'm telling you,
and
man.
That's the thing too. There's no other wrestling show on the planet that holds up to AOS or shows like that.
Yeah, I mean, dude, for me personally, speaking solely for myself, tonight's episode of Lucha Underground, that was some Daredevil quality shit.
Yeah, I was just going to say, we've been watching Daredevil, and we got hyped during that, but it's not as hype as we were tonight. It's really not. We've seen the first, I think we're up to episode 10 now of Daredevil, and it's such an amazing show, and I will say that just from an objective show quality standpoint, it is better than Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but tonight's Lucha Underground, I think we were more invested in than even Daredevil.
I mean, dude, I watched a man tonight in Matanza throw around guys who were dominant in Season 1, particularly in my mind, Puma, like he was a goddamn child who hopped over the guardrail. Unbelievable, dude.
It was so good.
The idea that a pro wrestling show can have such passionate people behind it as to write it with such thought, such intelligence, and such conviction makes my blood boil with a passion that, given WWE, has been alien to me for years. And I'm not talking about NXT. We always like to treat NXT like its own distinct entity. But honestly, for as good as NXT is, and it is great, and I love that locker room, ain't got shit on this.
No, and that's the thing, too, is I don't want to get into comparing locker rooms and Lucha Underground has more talent than any other locker room, because I don't want to go there.
No need to do that.
Lucha Underground has an incredibly talented locker room, and no one would deny that. but the writing team is what sets it apart from
and that's just
and you know what, the writing team and the production, those two. And the crazy thing is, like, I can't imagine Lucha Underground has a higher production cost than WWE, but they do so much more with their dollars.
Dude, they do. And see, that's
like you say all the time that wrestlers need to maximize their minutes. These wrestling companies need to learn to better maximize their dollars, because holy shit.
Exactly. And I'm so glad you phrased it the way you did, because here's the thing. At the age I am, and for how long I've been watching wrestling, and especially us doing this podcast for as long as we have, like, I respect every single pro wrestler that chooses to do this for a living, because I remember one distinct conversation I had with indie wrestler Niles Young. He was a mid-card guy in, like, Force 1, and I told him about my announcing ambitions at the time, and I'll never forget what he said to me. He said, if you're going to get into this business, prepare to spend more money than you make. I mean, this is a business predicated on sacrifice, but here's the thing. That sacrifice goes so much further when you have an engine behind you that not only believes in you, but is willing to go to bat for you in terms of the writing and the production. And that's where that comes in. That's the secret sauce to this fucking show. Yep. Because, you have your performers, and they're amazing. I think in terms of performers, this is probably one of the best ages of pro wrestling ever, because there are quality performers everywhere. I mean, you're talking like New Japan Pro Wrestling. You got guys like Naito, and as much as I personally don't like him, Tanahashi's the ace of New Japan for a reason.
No, he isn't. Okada is. He took that title from him at Wrestle Kingdom.
That's right. A freaking Kazuchika Okada, Kenny Omega, NXT. I mean, do I even need to say? And yes, and I've said this many times, main roster WWE, quality roster. Same thing with Lucha Underground. But the difference, especially between Lucha Underground and the WWE, you have got writers that believe in these performers, and you have got writers that have conviction in the product. And when I say conviction, I mean that it's one script, maybe a few edits, and done. I'm not talking full-blown fucking rewrites like Raw undergoes multiple times in a week. It's just, it doesn't even compare on that level. And that's where Lucha Underground wins. That's where they checkmate everybody else. Yep. And it's just astounding to behold. And you look at what they produce. Dude, I'm telling you, every week we watch this show, especially nights like tonight, where things just went swimmingly. This was a quality night for us, watching this and experiencing this. Makes me feel like a goddamn kid. Like, this is why I love pro wrestling, dude. I get more of a feeling of WrestleMania from Lucha Underground every week than I will at WrestleMania 32 itself come April, I believe the 3rd. Yeah. So, holy fuck, dude. Like, dude, you know what? I'm going to give you the thing
too is like, this was only week 9 out of 26.
Yeah. I mean, dude, honestly, I want to give you the ball for a while to run down your favorite Aztec Warfare moments, because my mind is just scattered right now.
Yeah. But I mean, before I do that, let me just say, Ultima Lucha is a 3-week event this year.
3 weeks.
Ultima Lucha is going to take place over episodes 24, 25, and 26, and episode 26 is a 2-hour special.
So, oh my God, it's a 4-hour affair. So it really is equivalent to WrestleMania then.
It is, and it's July 6th, 13th, and 20th, assuming no breaks between now and then.
Oh my God.
So July 20th, set your freaking calendars, people.
Yeah, because that's the big one. That's the big fucking one.
It is.
Bro, take it away. I want to hear you, because I have just been blathering
Okay, guys, I said it during my live reactions, but for those of you that don't listen to live reactions because it's just too loud and obnoxious and we're, super into the show, and I can understand that, I have a new member of my Fave 5 tonight, and it was the first time I've ever seen him, and that is El Dragon AZTEC Jr. This dude, as soon as he came out, I said, oh, there he is, let's see what he can do, and then he gets in the ring, and he's amazing. He's a freaking natural. He's incredible. And after his first sequence of offense and defense, as John so eloquently pointed out, all I can say is this dude is like a fusion of Rey Mysterio and Prince Puma. And, like, he's so good. He's so athletic. He did a freaking dive over the turnbuckle. He's amazing. So immediately, now I have an extra guy in my Fave 5. And then a few people later, Matanza comes out and starts wrecking shop, and John is creaming his pants over the technical wrestling. So in one episode, we had 3 debuts. 2 of them made it into John or my Fave 5s.
Unreal.
It's incredible. This
unreal.
show's so good. And like the crazy thing too is this entire match from beginning to end, there was always something going on. Like it was never just like, oh, let's put Heath Slater out there because who the hell cares? There was always something going on. At the very beginning, I was telling John, Phoenix comes out first, Rey Mysterio comes out second. I bet you Catrina made sure that would happen in hopes that one of them would eliminate the other or that they would at least wear each other down. King Cuerno comes out third. You can look at that one of two ways. Either A, that's Catrina trying to punish him by putting him out there against two baby faces, or B, that's Catrina trying to use him to eliminate two worn out baby faces, right?
Exactly.
Then Arhannis comes out, and Arhannis was probably the biggest question mark in this match as far as like why is he in this? But personally, I think the reason they put him in this was to be like, all right, guys, the Disciples of Death are dead. Here's one of them in his normal luchador garb back again.
And it makes sense that he got a low number because he may not know what he was doing while he was a Disciple of Death, but Catrina and Mills still do, so they want to punish him for his failure even if he's not aware of it.
Well, and that's assuming that it's actually canon that Arhannis was one of the disciples and it wasn't just like two completely different characters.
That is true. That's an excellent point.
Okay, so then Johnny Mundo comes out, and I don't know if there's any real reasoning behind him coming out this early, but shit, man, Johnny Mundo is Johnny Mundo, and he normally is able to handle his shit. Am I right?
You know it, brother. You don't have to ask me, man.
I mean, sadly, he got eliminated third tonight, but he still lasted a while. Joey Ryan comes out next, and he only was in this match because he earned a spot in a Fatal 4-Way that also involved Mr. Cisco, Agent Reyes, a.k.a. Cortez Castro, and Killshot. And then we had Prince Puma. Puma comes out 7th. I personally feel like maybe they should have brought out Puma 5th, but then you know what? If they would have done that, they would have had 3 or 4 baby faces out there against King Cuerno, and maybe Catrina didn't want that. Maybe Catrina put Johnny Mundo out there to help Cuerno.
Yeah, maybe, dude. Maybe.
I'm telling you, there was nothing random about this. At the very beginning, Melissa said that this was random draw, but I don't believe that for a second. I think Catrina wants us to think that.
Yeah, I think Melissa just said that for her own safety. Not that I hold that against her.
No, exactly, yeah. So then after Puma, we had Jack Evans, who is obviously the Dragon Slayer, but the dragon wasn't around yet. Then Taya, she was out there to help Johnny Mundo and Cuerno. And then we had, because we don't want the ring to get too piled up, we had Cage come out. The freaking killer Cage comes out and takes out literally nobody. I mean, he takes people out in the sense that he hurts them a lot, but he didn't get a single elimination in this match.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he dominated, but just really didn't get anything done there, so.
Yeah, like he kicked a lot of ass, but he didn't actually get any wins. So that's pretty perfect as far as the Cage character goes. Like, he's a destroyer, but he's kind of dumb.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
congratulations on beating people up, but not actually doing anything useful, Cage.
Yeah, I hope that Cinderblock tasted like shit, you fucking dickbag.
So then Mascarita Sagrada comes out, and we get our second shout-out from Lucha Underground.
Yes, thank you so much for that. I know, hopefully they'll hear this. We really, really appreciated it. That was amazing.
It was so... Dude, and the crazy thing is, we didn't even hear it because we were too busy marking out over what was going on in the ring. We had to rely on 2 of our friends on Facebook being like, hey guys, you had another shout-out, congratulations. And we were just like, oh shit, for real? And we were like, when? And they said during, and the crazy thing is too, like there are a lot of people that watch Lucha Underground just kind of casually, and they're not really as hardcore into it as we are. And they were like, both of them didn't know who Mascarita Sagrada was. They just said the little guy. And so immediately we know, okay, so it was Mascarita's entrance. And yeah, I guess that they said something about how like they wonder what we're going to say about this, or they wonder how we're going to react to it, or something like that.
Yeah, spoiler alert, it was fucking amazing!
You're goddamn right it was!
We love you! I am so sorry, I don't know where that came from, but you know what? No regrets.
We love you aggressively, goddammit!
No restraining order will keep me from you, none!
I'm so pissed off that I can't hug your essence!
Exactly. Oh, you didn't hear the shout out? Your fucking fault for being an amazing product. I'm gonna crush you up to dust and snort you like cocaine. Oh, that's good bloodstream. Yeah.
So then Marty comes out, and Marty is a psychopath as usual, and I feel like he just completely no-sold a Jack Evans Trouble in Paradise.
Freakiest shit in the match besides obviously Matanza. He gets almost like a capoeira-esque kick to the head.
It was like a spinning into gear, basically what Kofi Kingston does, Trouble in Paradise.
Right, and it's like, it almost like the impact looked sick because the neck really looked like it was jolted, almost like he snapped his neck with that kick.
And then he laughed.
And then Marty just laughed. That is the creepiest fucking shit I think I've ever seen in some time. I mean, again, I love guys like Bray Wyatt, but don't leave me in a room with Marty the Moth ever. Please. Yeah. Jesus, man.
So then Drago comes out and immediately goes after Jack Evans because the Dragon is pissy about someone calling themselves the Dragon Slayer.
Exactly.
And then the Mac comes out, goes after Marty. I mean, pretty logical pairing, no?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then Chavo comes out and he starts picking on, the weakest link, so-called weakest link, and he eliminates Mascarita eventually.
Exactly.
So then we get PJ Black, and he immediately goes over to help Jack Evans against Drago. And then Aerostar comes out, and he goes over to help Drago, and we end up getting a double pin where PJ pins Drago, and Aerostar pins Jack Evans.
Yeah, I mean, just perfectly lined up. Yeah. Absolutely excellent.
And then El Dragon Azteca Jr. comes out, and he whips some ass. I think the guy that he was fighting where he had the crazy series of dodges was King Cuerno, right?
It was PJ Black. I believe it was.
Okay. That makes more sense, actually.
Yeah.
I don't even remember when Cuerno got eliminated.
Yeah.
He was incredible. He had that amazing series of dodges and kicks and just crazy amazingness. And then he did the goddamn dive over the freaking turnbuckle. And then Tejano comes out, eliminates PJ Black. And then Mill comes out. But guess who's in the crowd? Pentagon Jr.,
who pretty much did the steel chair equivalent of a shank, because he takes him down, and then when he's down, he just does it repeatedly into Mill's sternum. Catrina is freaking out, who, by the way, Catrina had a real shit night tonight, and then gets Mill in the ring, and then didn't Puma, or was it Fenix, or was it Puma, did some kind of dive or something, I felt like,
Ray.
on Mill.
Ray dropped the dime.
Oh, it was Ray dropped the dime, and then him and Puma stacked it up. I'm kind of disappointed Fenix didn't get in on that pin, given their history, but... yeah, just like, and you know what, too? That was a little nod to Aztec Warfare 1, I believe, because it took two men to pill Mill again, just like last year. So
there were actually two instances of a double pin tonight, too, because Marty, it took Ray and Mascarita to pin him.
Right. Dude,
they're protecting Marty.
They're protecting Marty, and oh god, there's so much I want to say about it, but gotta bite the tongue.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, no spoilers, but again, talking about those season 3 tapings, apparently, like, Marty, he does something next season. I don't even know what, but he's growing in Lucha Underground. You could tell his profile's growing, and if they chose to protect him here, like, his stock is rising in the temple, and for a guy that's worked as hard as he has, that just makes me so happy.
Absolutely.
Like,
so then,
yeah.
After Mill gets eliminated and chases Pentagon to the back, which maybe another little slight disappointment that we didn't get to see that kind of unravel in the back with a kick-ass cinematic, but maybe we'll see it next week. Matanza. We have it was great. There was another countdown clock after Mill came out, so you and I were thinking, like, what the hell's going on? Like, did they botch? Is this a mess up? Is this an editing problem? But let's be real, people. This is Lucha Underground. There are no botches, okay? And Cueto comes out, and by the way, I forgot to mention, after Pentagon did what he did, Catrina blamed Vampiro.
That's right! Oh my god, she got in his face, she slapped him, dude!
She didn't even really get in his face, she made him get in her face, because she yelled at him and told him to come over, and he comes over, and she's screaming at him, and then she slapped the shit out of him, and then Cueto showed up.
Dude, I can't wait to watch this again.
I know!
Dude. And then, just to kind of play on what you said when we saw the countdown clock, I could just picture if you and I, God, maybe one day, but if you and I were in the back and we saw, like, the countdown clock, we would just look over to somebody, was that a botch? Botch. No. And then you see that, and then you're just like, oh, so we're getting murder tonight on Aztec Warfare 2. Yeah. Good to know. Yeah,
and then,
great.
Like I said, Dario Cueto at the top of the steps. This is my temple. I am El Jefe. I am the boss. And I'm taking it back tonight because there's one more participant in Aztec warfare, my brother, the monster Matanza Cueto.
And I gotta say, I know people had their criticisms with the Matanza reveal. First of all, to me, I think what's so brilliant about this is the mythology of Matanza. He has a god inside him.
If you haven't been paying full attention like we've tried to, and rewatching episodes like we have, and catching as much as you possibly can like we have, you might not know that Rey Mysterio Jr. told El Dragon Azteca Jr. that the Cueto's father sacrificed Matanza to an Aztec god that now inhabits his body, rather.
Exactly.
So Matanza Cueto, in a physical sense, is still alive, but in a spiritual sense is dead, because only his body remains, and it has been possessed by an ancient Aztec god.
Exactly. So you could say, oh, but this guy, by comparison, is 7 foot, whatever. That's a mortal man. This is a god.
Exactly.
Therefore, all other things are moot.
Yeah.
You lose.
Yeah. And Paul Heyman likes to use that rhetoric too, the god of whatever, destruction, violent, or vengeance, or whatever. No, Matanza's a literal god. Literally.
Yeah.
I'm not being metaphorical. He has been inhabited and possessed by a goddamn god. And I just said God twice in the same sentence, and it made me feel uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, you see that ticket reel over there? Go over to it and take a fucking number and go to the bag, because I don't want to hear anybody else call themselves a god after this Matanza debut tonight. Yeah. Because you could talk about, the size wasn't big enough, or he didn't look at... First of all, to me personally, Ashton, I can't speak for you, I still thought he looked menacing, all things considered.
Dude, and that's the thing too, he's even a little tiny bit shorter than Dario Cueto himself, but if you just look at them, you know who the freaking fighter is.
Exactly. Like, he has got a build to him, and I'm just like, I dig it. I dig the mask, that, like, Jason Voorhees-esque shit he's got.
It is so good. Yeah, and he shows up, he does his plotting walk down to the ring, and then he gets in the ring, and he is a dancing bear, brother, because this big man can move.
And dude, like, I just have to touch on kind of a theme that we've been going with in our review. This again goes back to the quality of writing, because Vince McMahon, if the stories are true, and I could readily believe them, it's like, I only push guys who I believe can win a fight. You don't have to fucking do that if your writing's there.
The whole point of wrestling is being able to make a guy look tough who isn't actually.
And my God, do they do that with Matanza?
Like, who the hell actually thinks Triple H would beat frickin' Wade Barrett in a fist fight? Nobody.
Exactly. Yeah, I certainly don't.
But Triple H has basically been pushed as the biggest badass on the planet for the last 15 years.
Yeah, and look, my thing is, again, when you pretty much say about this guy, okay, what's this guy's story? He has a god inside him. Done. That's it. Like, I don't need to be sold on anything else, because I'm gonna say it right now. I don't think anybody on the Lucha Underground roster can beat Matanza. I think the only thing that can beat Matanza is another god. That's just what I came away from this show believing. And
maybe that's what's going to have to happen then. Maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe Vampiro is going to figure that out, and he's going to, like, sacrifice Pentagon to the god so that he can have a god on his side.
Maybe Puma is the last of his tribe, will make the ultimate sacrifice and have a god infused with him, so we can have a Technico god to go with the Rudo god.
Well, Pentagon isn't Rudo or Technico. He's just amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, and maybe I'm saying...
He's not Rudo, he's not Technico, he's Violento.
Well, I mean, clearly I don't disagree with you, but my point is, like, I feel like if we're looking at it from a mythological standpoint, maybe they'd want to tell the story that, I don't know, the only thing that could beat an entity like Matanza is like a vessel of purity or something like that. Yeah. And then you go with Puma, who's been kind of,
Or, I mean, if you really want to stick to, I mean, the real, what the story that they've been telling us, the mythology, oh my God, I can't speak. The mythology. Azteca Jr., when he maybe completes his training, maybe he'll be the one to do it.
Yeah, or maybe they'll do Fenix, because with his powers, he may be the only one that could survive a kind of ritual like that.
No, because Fenix is the foil to Mill. He doesn't need to be the foil to every big bad.
That is true.
I'm telling you, it makes the most sense that it would be El Dragon Azteca Jr., because they've even talked about how it's his fate, it's his destiny.
That is true. I just think the point I was getting at after tonight, and knowing that Aerostar visited that Aztec tribe, and they know that, like, gods in the form of men are going to come to the temple, the only thing that's going to beat Matanza is another god. Like,
I think you're right.
convinced.
I think it's just a matter of who it ends up being.
Exactly. Because, and here's the thing, when I say that, it's not to denigrate Mil Muertes or
No.
Cage or this and that. It's just to say that Matanza already in one night has proven himself to be in a completely different league. And that's how you debut somebody. And that's how you make a monster. Dude, I'm just blown away. I'm so, like, how can I look at anything else after this?
We have to talk about NXT tonight. Oh,
I know, and I love NXT, but after this,
I know.
like, that's the thing, guys. This isn't just a wrestling show. I'd be, and here's the thing too. And when I say that, I couldn't even look at a TV. If Ashton was like, if say we were behind on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you'd be like, do you want to watch it? I'd be like, sure. But in the back of my mind, I think it wouldn't live up to this.
No.
It just beats television, period. Like, that's terrifying.
I can't wait for Lucha Underground to win. What are they? Is it Emmys or Oscars for TV shows?
Well, Emmys is the big thing for TV.
Okay. I can't wait for Lucha Underground to win an Emmy and then Kevin Dunn to piss himself.
Exactly.
Because he's been trying to win one for 20 plus years and he's never gotten close.
And you never will because you're a fucking failure.
And a hack.
Yeah, and a hack. Eat my shit. And I just can't say enough good things about everybody behind this. Like, unbelievable what is going on right now. And when we say Netflix needs Lucha, it's no longer just a marketing slogan that sounds nice. You legitimately need this for your service, Netflix, because you already have Daredevil and Jessica Jones. You want to talk about a perfect fit after an episode like tonight? Jesus Christ. You better both be sitting at the table and closing something because it would only service you in the end. Yeah. Believe me, like, this show needs to be seen by more people, and it angers me that, you know, it's getting there, and you know it's building. I just want it to build faster because everybody should be seeing this, and Lucha Underground, everybody behind it, from the performers to the writers, deserve all eyes on them, because if they've proven one thing consistently for now, this is episode 9 of season 2, season 1 at 39 episodes, 48 episodes now, cumulatively, they've proven they perform best under pressure. And I feel like for that whole time they've been under pressure and consistently they knocked it out of the park.
Yep.
I fucking love these guys. I have really nothing. Matanza wins. He's the freaking world champion. And here's the thing. Fenix only had a 1-week reign. And if it was WWE, I'd be pissed. But here's the thing. Again, to stretch and to just nail the point home, they don't have the writing that Lucha Underground does.
Right. And I mean, also, well, to kind of build off your point that the writing is what made the difference, the other reason that Fenix won the title in the first place, and we kind of saw this logic used in NXT, is because Matanza wasn't around earlier.
Exactly.
If Matanza showed up last week, Fenix wouldn't have won the title.
He wouldn't have.
Matanza would have.
Exactly. Like, that's just it. And, you know, Fenix, and you know what, too, though? And just hear me out, guys, because, again, I feel like writing is one thing. But if you're a Fenix fan, or you're just a fan of Fenix's development, like I think you and I are, because I love the story they're telling with him, this is actually a win for Fenix, because it keeps him sympathetic. Like, you have to rise again now from the ashes and come back even stronger now if you want to get back to the top of the mountain. And he was talking about, can the myth become a legend? And we felt like maybe his legend was starting. Matanza says not yet. And now Fenix has to rise up again and keep plugging away at it. That's a fucking babyface. I've never been a fan of babyfaces having long title reigns. I think you've been the same way.
I think Puma pulled it off last season.
Puma pulled it off because I think he had Conan, so that kind of balanced it out a little bit because you had that veteran in your ear. And then when he was on his own, he lost it. He was a badass. He was a badass.
It was literally his first match after losing Conan that he lost it to.
Exactly. So I think Conan made the difference with that reign, and Conan is a bit more heelish. So he had Puma do things that maybe he wouldn't have done that maybe would have ended his title reign even sooner. And yet you get Fenix, who beats Mil, where one, it makes sense because life has conquered death here. Again, they're the opposites, meant to do this forever. And then he drops it a week later to a fucking god. So, really, if you're a Fenix fan, you're thinking, well, what did it take to beat the champion? Which I think Fenix fell to that sick-looking chokeslam of Matanza, which was just insane. The only thing that could beat Fenix, it seems, was a freaking god. So, I don't know what else anybody could want. This was amazing. I got nothing else to say, bro. Do you?
This was amazing. That's all there is to say. Watch Lucha Underground. And if you're listening to this, I'm assuming you already do. But if you only listen to our reviews because you're not really, it's difficult for you to find or it's inaccessible or whatever, iTunes has it. Fubo.tv, Sling TV. There are options that you can do that are legal. And even if you don't want to cough up money, which I highly encourage you do, there are questionably legal ways to do it that you can find by just Googling.
Yeah. I mean, find a way, guys.
Just find a way to watch it, and then, even if, I don't want to give money to something if I don't know how much I like it, find it, watch it, and then when you realize how amazing it is, pour the money out of your pockets and give it to them.
And here's my thing, just as a caveat, because I understand some people's financial situation isn't as healthy as other people. The least you can do is word of mouth. Spread it to other people.
Dude, the least they could do is iTunes. iTunes is so inexpensive.
That is true.
You can buy an episode for if you want HD, it's $1 more per episode. But even if you just want to kind of go for the bare minimum price wise, you can buy an episode for $1.99. Watch that, see if you like it, and if you do, shell out all the money.
Exactly. And even if for whatever reason, again, you couldn't, which again, that is probably the best way.
I'm
telling
telling
people
you right
about
now,
this.
if you can't afford $1.99 for an episode of Lucha Underground, go to Amazon Mechanical Turk. Sign up and do just enough hits to make $2 and then transfer it to your bank account and use that money to buy an episode of Lucha Underground.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it, guys. It is absolutely worth it. And again, along with the money, keep spreading the word. It makes me happy. And again, I got to give him a shout out. I know Gordon convinced a friend of his to watch it. I'm sure other people in our audience have told their friends about it. Again, I recently had a friend of mine watch the first 2 episodes. I think he's going to go to distance on it. He really loves it.
That's the thing, too. If you are behind, first of all, I am so sorry that you did not jump on this as early as possible like we did. But second of all, recaps are so helpful. I know it's not available outside of, I think, North America now because of copyright issues, but I even uploaded a video that shows the recaps that Lucha Underground puts on their own show in the first 1.5 to 2 minutes of each episode. That's last time on Lucha Underground. And I compiled almost all 40 of them from last season, or all 39, I guess I should say, from last season, and put them all in one video. It's less than an hour long. You can watch that instead of the shitty 3rd hour of Raw next week.
Yeah.
And that'll catch you up on season 1. I mean, it's not perfect, and there are going to be matches that you should see that aren't in that, but it's still a good way to get you caught up on the storylines. And then you can just go on a season 2 marathon, and it's 9 episodes so far, which is, if you find ways to watch it without commercials, less than 7 hours, which you could watch an hour a day for a week, and you're caught up.
Exactly. I mean, guys, I just want everybody possible, within the sound of my voice, within the, reach of this podcast, to see this show. Because, my God, people have been pleading for a legitimate, viable alternative to WWE for years. They thought they had it in TNA. Clearly, that didn't pan out.
Did anyone ever actually think they had it in TNA?
Yes. I can say with certainty, I think a lot of people really thought that TNA had a chance to be that second engine.
Okay, after 2006.
I think after 2006, it became less common, and I think people started to take stock out. Well, you can put your stock back into this product.
It's
because,
the thing is, with TNA, it was always, these matches are entertaining, but they're spot fests. And there were never any oh my God, this storyline is so good. Anybody, not even just wrestling fans, but anybody that appreciates a good story would like this show. It was never like that for TNA. That's what Lucha Underground is.
Lucha Underground services everybody. If you're somebody that is
It's not even just if you're a wrestling fan, watch this. It's if you appreciate good storytelling, watch this. If you like Game of Thrones, watch this. If you like Breaking Bad, watch this. If you like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Marvel movies and even DC shows and movies, watch the shit out of this, because that's what it is. It's a superhero movie, but instead of having fight scenes that are choreographed and done with all kinds of different cuts in front of a camera with CGI, they're done in front of a live crowd in a wrestling ring.
Exactly. Just this show is so next level, not just in the realm of pro wrestling, but in the realm of television, period. Like, I just can't say enough good things about Lucha Underground or its people, and I am just so happy and so privileged to be a part of this, and that Ashton was like, hey, let's get in on this, let's start talking about it. Best investment this podcast, I think, has ever made. And, you know, with that, are you ready to move on to our next segment?
Let's do it, brother.
High spots and low shots. Easiest fucking low shot in recent memory, Catrina.
I knew that, and I have one in the backup just in case you would go there.
Because what a horrible, horrible night for this woman.
It was.
She exhibited her power in the beginning with Pentagon taking him out. Chickens came home to roost because he didn't take that.
There's only so much that you can do that's taking advantage of other people and shitting on their lives before it comes back to bite you in the ass.
And that's the thing, too. You don't even really, because we know that Catrina had some kind of a motive for having her guy beat Fenix.
Yeah.
And you could feel bad for her there. I didn't feel bad for her tonight.
No.
I thought you got what you deserved.
Exactly.
And not only that, while she's busy consoling her monster, she sees how a real monster takes care of business.
I mean, you say that implying Mill isn't a real monster, but Mill did just beat Puma and Pentagon at the same time.
Look, Mill is a fucking beast, okay?
That's
Nothing
my dream
against
match right
Mill.
now, is Mill versus Matanza. Holy shit.
But let's just be frank, Ashton. I mean, let's call it as we see it, right? He got bitched out by a steel chair. Do you think Matanza could get bitched out by a steel chair after what we witnessed? Because I question that.
You mean just tonight?
Well, tonight, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, tonight or just in general. Like, I don't think
anyone is even... I don't think anyone's even going to try to sneak attack Matanza.
Yeah.
They might just get their heads bitten off.
I mean, and here's the thing,
or
too,
their arms ripped off, or, you know.
Even if we were just looking at this from a kayfabe side, Muertes. Oh my god, I can barely even English right now. I gotta keep it going. I feel like I'm on low gas. Muertes is undead. Matanza is a fucking god. Like, again, no comparison.
Both have supernatural powers. Let's give them credit.
Yeah, both have supernatural powers. Mills is contained in a fucking sandbox. Matanzas looks like it's in a freaking universe. Like, I'm sorry, man. I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued.
I want to see it, though. I want to see how they treat that match.
See, here's the difference. I'll tell you this,
I almost feel like, because here's the thing. Nobody even tried to pin Matanza tonight because no one got enough offense to get him down on his back to cover him.
Exactly, and here's
so
the
I
thing.
almost feel like he would kick out at 1 after a flatliner.
Oh my god, yeah. And here's the thing, though, Ashton. I will say this, and this is where I think again the writing is very smart. I think the ace in the hole for Mil Muertes is Catrina, because she knows some kind of necromancy or some kind of dark magic. Maybe that could negate Matanza a little bit. But that's it. I think if you took Catrina out of the equation and it was Mil on his own merits against Matanza, done. I'm sorry. I just see it like a lamb going to slaughter. Matanza dominated tonight. He murdered everyone. And I'm very much intrigued about a Mil Muertes versus Matanza matchup. And no doubt I think Mil would perform very well. But could he win? That's a huge question mark to me after what we saw tonight. Because holy fuck. But yeah, for now, Catrina's my low shot. You said you had backup, so who's your low shot? Who are you picking?
Well, I mean, I know Catrina is the easiest pick, but to me, the most underrated bad night tonight is Fenix, because he was on top of the world last week, and now he comes tumbling back down to earth, not only losing his championship that he worked so freaking hard to get, but now he has this Matanza-sized obstacle that he needs to try and overcome. That's just plain not going to happen.
I'm just going to say it, and this may be one of the first cosigns we've had in a while, maybe. Matanza's my high spot. Who the fuck else? Like,
no,
who else
yeah,
pick?
I'm not even going to try and think of... You know what? No, you can have Matanza. I'll take Dario.
Okay.
I'll take Dario
like
Cueto because, like, he controls the temple again. It was so little effort, too. Like, he just shows up and, yeah, my brother's going to take care of this for me. I'll meet you back in my office with my shit in it now because I have Black Lotus clearing your shit out.
Oh, and since I've got the liquor cabinet again, I'll even pour you a drink as a courtesy.
Yeah, and then I'll dump it on the ground because you don't deserve to have it touch your lips.
Oh my god. I actually love the ingenuity of your choice because you chose the ringleader, I chose the heavy. And
I chose the lion tamer, you chose the lion.
I'll take the lion, though.
Yeah.
Because if it's bearing these kinds of teeth, I'll fucking take it.
Yeah.
Because I still believe, and let me reiterate something I've been saying for a while, I still don't think Cueto can keep Matanza under control. And he better be able to. Because after what we saw tonight, and those men are competitors. Can you imagine what he could do to Cueto if he oversteps? Like, holy fucking shit. So, yeah.
And also, can I just a random thing to point out? Do you love that Johnny Mundo's go-to "I hate your face" move now is to just throw it through a window?
You're damn right I do.
I mean, it's funny too because like it's also a throwback to Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. And he would get those comparisons, and I know Shawn Michaels was like his childhood idol wrestling-wise. Like, he fucking loves Shawn Michaels.
Like, he throws, like, he just pictures everyone else as Marty Jannetty, and he just throws their face.
Yeah, you make a great point there. Even ego-wise, it's like, well, they're all Jannetties compared to me, which, is an absolute fact. So I'm just gonna throw them all through windows. Dude, that's the thing, man. Like, yeah, he got eliminated early. I even fucking love what Johnny Mundo did tonight, because, yeah, he got eliminated, but you know what he did? He made Cage eat shit. How's that cinder block, asshole?
I was just gonna say, and by shit, you mean literal cinder block.
Exactly. Fuck your face, Cage. Piece of shit. So, yeah. I mean, Matanza's my high spot. Would have loved to have given it to Mundo, but he'll get his time. But yeah, Matanza.
I don't know, dude. I mean, we had a little bit of an alliance going on early on in this match with Mundo, Taya, and Jack Evans. We know Jack Evans and PJ are a team. I think we should have a fortunate foursome.
Yeah, and they already have a piece of merch with the four of them. Taya, Mundo, PJ Black, and Jack Evans.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that during our live reaction. Dude, what a power faction right there.
I'm so happy that PJ Black and Jack Evans are going to learn what true leadership looks like with Johnny
And
Mundo.
I love, too, that the powerhouse in that group is Taya.
Yeah, she is amazing.
She's the beast of the group. Mundo and PJ and Jack Evans are all the flippy shit guys, and then Taya just comes along and punches you in the face.
Exactly.
Yeah, I love that.
I fucking love it, dude.
Because conventions, fuck them.
Exactly. We're Lucha Underground, and we don't even need to say that we're progressive because show, not tell, marks. So,
bingo.
With that said, are we done our 10,000 word dissertation on why Lucha Underground's the best fucking thing ever?
10,001.
Fair enough.
Okay, 10,003. Fine, let's go.
With that said, guys, this has been Lucha Underground. This has been TWitWoW. The best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my cohort and commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to comment and subscribe on YouTube. Ashton, what question do you have for our subscribers this week?
No questions. Just tell us how amazing the show is.
Yeah, just share the love, people. Get back to us. Tell us how this made you feel. What did you think of Matanza? There's kind of a question for you. That's what I want to know.
It's a joke question because I know people are going to laugh at it. How would you say AZTEC Warfare compared to the Royal Rumble this year?
Oh, God, I love it. Be sure to take the conversation over to Pletov. That is Pro Wrestling is taking over Facebook. I saw one member already marking out over AZTEC Warfare 2. I'm sure there are many more to follow. You'll fit right in. Also, be sure to check out the new TWitWoW Facebook page. Like, share, and comment on the content there. If Facebook really isn't your medium, we have a TWitWoW subreddit. There you can find all of our TWitWoW content, and members of that subreddit can create threads of their own on all things related to pro wrestling, including Lucha Underground, because I really believe me and Ashton will never tire talking about it. And if you want to follow us on the ground level, if you really want to get intimate with us, converse with us, all that good stuff, we are both on Twitter. I am at John_TWitWoW. Ashton is at apond404. That's the letter A, pond, the body of water, P-O-N-D, that Matanza's probably soaked with everybody else's blood after his performance tonight. 404. And we will see you again for our NXT review, where Emma looks to finally get one over on Asuka before NXT TakeOver Dallas. Can Emma get the job done? Or is Asuka gonna kill you? Tune in and peace out.